Part 1, The Soul of the Glide. Close your eyes. It's 1972, late August. You're standing on a bluff overlooking San Onofre, or maybe Malibu, or a hidden cove tucked away in Santa Cruz. The air is thick, not just with salt, but with the smell of wild sage and sun-baked asphalt. The heat of the afternoon is starting to surrender to the first cool breath of the evening offshore wind. It's that golden hour, the time when the Pacific Ocean stops looking like water and starts looking like molten mercury. To understand the 1970s longboard style, you have to understand the silence that came before the storm. The 1960s were loud Gidget, the Beach Boys, the massive planks that weighed 50 pounds. But as we crossed into the 70s, something changed. The world was getting chaotic, political, and fast. In response, a tribe of surfers went the other way. They went inward. They went soul. The craft, art in the shaping bay. Before we even hit the water, look at the board resting against the bumper of that wood-paneled station wagon. This isn't a factory-made toy. In 1972, a surfboard was a piece of functional sculpture. Run your hand along the rail. It's smooth, cool, and slightly waxy. The board is a 9'6" single fin. It's thick, holding enough volume to float a man through the slowest, fattest sections of a wave. But look at the color. This is the era of the resin tint. The shaper didn't just paint this board. They mixed pigments directly into the laminating resin. It's a deep, translucent amber, the color of honey held up to a light bulb. When the sun hits it, you can see the stringer, that thin strip of dark cedar running down the center like a spine. It gives the board life, a subtle flex that responds to the heartbeat of the ocean. There are no leashes here. The leg rope hasn't taken over yet. If you lose your board, you swim. That's the contract you sign with the sea. It forces a certain level of grace. You don't take risks you can't handle. You surf with a quiet, focused competence because your board is your lifeline, and seeing it bounce off the rocks is a heartbreak you aren't willing to endure. The descent, walking on water. Now pick up the board. Feel the weight on your shoulder, the heavy glassing, maybe 2 layers of 6-ounce cloth. It feels substantial, like a real tool. You walk down the trail, the dry weeds brushing against your shins, and you paddle out. The paddle out is a meditation. On a longboard in the 70s, you aren't scratching frantically like a bug on the surface. You're gliding. Every stroke of your arms creates a deep, satisfying plop in the glassy water. You sit out past the breaking sets, the board bobbing under you like a cork. A set moves in. It's a long, peeling right-hander. It's not a monster, maybe 5 feet, but it's groomed by the wind into a perfect, tapering wall of green glass. Music transition. A slow, hypnotic bass line enters. Deep, warm, and rhythmic. A clean electric guitar plays a single, sustained chord with a heavy spring reverb effect. You turn the nose toward the shore. 3 deep, powerful strokes and you feel the tail lift. The ocean isn't pushing you, it's inviting you. You pop up in one fluid motion. No wobbling, no adjustments, you're just there. The trim, the art of doing nothing. This is where the 70s style separates itself from everything else. On a modern shortboard, you'd be pumping, weaving, trying to generate speed. But here, on this amber-tinted log, you seek the trim. You move to the middle of the board. You stand perfectly still. Your front foot is slightly angled, your back foot tucked behind it. Your arms are low. You find that sweet spot where the board's hull matches the wave's velocity perfectly. Suddenly, the friction disappears. The hiss of the water under your feet turns into a silent hum. You are trimming. It is the closest a human being can get to flying without leaving the ground. You're looking down the line, watching the lip of the wave curl over like a slow-motion glass ribbon. You aren't trying to shred the wave. You're trying to disappear into it. You see a section ahead starting to steepen. You don't dig a rail, you simply shift your weight an inch forward. The board responds instantly, accelerating with a dignified surge. This is the soul glide. It's about economy of motion. It's about the knee drop turn, where you lean back, drop your trailing knee toward the deck, and let the single fin carve a long, sweeping arc in the water, leaving a trail of white foam that looks like a cursive signature on the face of the sea. The sunset ritual. As the ride ends, the wave breathes its last breath in the shallows. You don't jump off. You step back to the tail, stall the board, and sink gracefully into the water as the foam washes over your chest. You sit on the beach as the sun finally touches the horizon. The sky is a riot of violet, burnt orange, and dusty pink, the Technicolor sky of the 70s. Around you, other surfers are doing the same. There's no shouting, no bro talk, just the sound of the tide retreating and the occasional clink of a glass bottle. The 70s longboard style was a beautiful contradiction. It was an old way of surfing performed by a new generation of rebels. It taught us that speed isn't everything, that style is a form of integrity, and that sometimes the most radical thing you can do is simply stand still and let the world move around you.